What's up guys, Mitch from Shock Therapy, and today we're going to be showing you how to install the new Billet reservoir caps. A couple of things that these reservoir caps are going to do for you. Not only do they look really good, they also add more nitrogen volume to the shock and give you a Schrader valve to check and maintain your nitrogen pressures. This installation is fairly simple and can be done with the shocks on or off of the vehicle. Should take you about an hour or two. Let's jump on in. I'm going to show you guys how to do it. Okay guys, so to start off the video, I'm going to tell you that you can do this on the car or in the vise. It does not matter. For the video purpose and to show you guys exactly how this is installed, we're going to have it in the vise just to give you close-ups of the clip and how to actually remove the cap and all of that stuff there. So before we jump into actually releasing the nitrogen pressure out of the shock, I do want to throw one thing in, that there is a special tool that you guys can buy. It's totally up to you, but it does release the nitrogen pressure out of the factory cap. The problem that we've ran into is when you insert that tool, there's a needle that goes through it and it tends to break all the time. It's an expensive tool. We find it easier just to use an 1/8 inch drill bit and a drill, since you're going to be replacing the cap anyways. So the first thing we're going to do is grab a drill with an 1/8 inch drill bit on it. There's a little dimple in the middle of the cap. You're basically just going to drill out that dimple and you're going to release all the nitrogen that's in the shock from factory. Now once the nitrogen is removed, you can go ahead and just push that cap down. It's only going to go down a little bit, but just enough to remove the clip out of the inside of the reservoir itself. And grab a pick. That is the only clip that holds that cap into there, so go ahead and remove that. And then you can grab a flathead screwdriver and very carefully just slowly lift up on the cap, kind of move around it a little bit to loosen it. Once you get it up, cap pops right out. So once you have the cap out, it's a good idea to grab a rag or a towel or something and just go ahead and clean this guy up. There is going to be a little bit of residual oil inside of the reservoir from when these are actually put together from factory. If you're doing this on the car and you drill it out, you're going to have oil that comes out of there. Now, it's not bad if there's only a little bit that comes out. If you have an excessive amount of oil that comes out of the reservoir, that's a pretty good sign that it's time for the shocks to be rebuilt, so just pay attention to that as well. If not a lot of oil comes out of it, that's perfectly normal. Just go ahead and stick your towel in, clean it up a little bit, and get ready to install the new cap. So the new cap does come with an O-ring, so you can actually leave the old one on the old cap there. If you want to go ahead and clock the resi cap to where the logo is sticking, outward, or however you guys prefer on that, go ahead and do that now. You're basically going to set it in, push it all the way down until it bottoms out. Go ahead and grab your clip and clean this up. Clip is going to go over the cap and snap into place. It's a good idea to take your pick again and just make sure that that guy is fully seated inside of the reservoir itself. It should be able to spin freely around the inside the reservoir once it's actually inside the groove. Well, once the cap's installed, take the Schrader valve cap off. We're going to grab our nitrogen hose regulator and bottle. Make sure we're set to 200 psi. Hard to see. 200 psi. And go ahead and charge it. Install the cap back onto the reservoir cap itself. So to touch on something real quick, we do understand that people don't have access to nitrogen. Something that you guys can do, which is actually pretty cool. For about $200 to $250, you get 4 buddies that go in. You get the bottle for $100, the regulator for $40, and the hose for about $20. Depends on where you are, but around here, that's the going prices. Really helpful because you guys can actually check the nitrogen. You can regulate the pressures in it. Anytime you service your UTV or anything like that, now with the resi caps, you can actually check that stuff too. Make sure your shocks are functioning properly and have the correct amount of PSI of nitrogen inside them as well. So once the shock is charged and your cap is back on the Schrader itself, go ahead and repeat these steps on the other 3 remaining shocks. The process is identical and your installation is complete. We hope that this video helped you guys with the installation of your new Billet reservoir caps at home. The cool thing about having a Schrader is it actually allows you to maintain and check your nitrogen pressures, which is extremely important and should always be set at 200 psi. We do understand that most people don't have access to nitrogen. Something cool that you guys can do is get together with 4 of your buddies, buy a tank, a regulator, and a hose, and it is fairly cheap to do. Another cool thing about the Billet reservoir caps is that the logo that's engraved onto it actually allows you to mount it any way that the reservoir on the shock is. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the bell to be notified anytime that we post a new video. If you'd like to order a set of these Billet reservoir caps or any of our other products, feel free to visit the website at shocktherapyusa.com. For any technical help or other questions, feel free to give us a call at 623-217-4959. Lights.
Camera.
Action.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not only do they look bitchin'. Tank Schrader, yeah. Nitrogen tank, a bottle. This video, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I went cross-eyed. Whoa. Billet reservoir click. Ah. I'm gonna do it, Josh. Sorry.
Alright, quiet on set. Shh. And action.
Director. I like it.
I just like to yell.
No yelling on the bus, Tony.